The fat electrician hates communism, featuring donut operator. As per unsubscribed clips. We're gonna look at this. I hate communism too, so I guess we've got something in common, I suppose. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I guess we've got things in common. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Germany is full of, one of the countries that right in Europe that like had a rough history with socialism and communism is very moving towards that again, which is very interesting. I'd say United States, get ready. All I can say. Anyway, and to be fair, hot take, a lot of the major, more important movements throughout history are arguably have somewhat communism. LGBTQ communism, feminism in its spirit is communist. Arguably the civil rights movement, MLK was preaching also socialism and communism. It's everywhere, actually. Even in modern times, it's everywhere.
Bro,
I've spent the last 48
hours of my life just raging communism simps because Donald Trump
haven't done it right
Donald
yet.
Trump had that fucking comment about how like, oh, Russia beat the Nazis, and now it's weird because like Donald Trump, right, but like communist sympathizers left, and now all the communist sympathizers are like, yes, Russia beat the Nazis by themselves, and I'm just shitting on all.
No, that did not happen. By the way, if the United States did not get involved in World War II, we'd all speak German. We would just all speak. So there would be 3 major countries if the United States did not get involved: Japan, Germany, the United States, and that's it. Everything else would either be German, Japanese, or American. That's it. Right? Because remember, the Germans did sit in Moscow. That's how far they got. Anyway.
All of them. And I can't handle being on X. I'm going to get canceled if I go on there and have to argue with these fucking people.
What?
But it's fun. Twitter is fun. It's just a shouting match. Who has the most viewers? You know, who ratios who? Right? If you have more followers, you can ratio somebody. And if you ratio somebody, we all know that you're right.
As you're saying, it is this quick history lesson. You're going to see, yes, Russia threw a fuck ton of bodies and helped stop the war machine that was Nazi Germany.
Yes, but if your claim to fame is we had the most people die, that's a really shitty stat. I'm sorry. Like,
that's been done.
Imagine if I was in the NBA Finals and LeBron dunked on me the most amount of times, and I was like, I deserve to be MVP because I gave up the most.
True. Considering that, it's like, I don't feel like that's something to brag about, being like, yeah, we had the most casualties, by the way. It's like, huh? What? No, that's not how that works. Indian too. Remember, Indian leaders and H-Man had good relations. So did H-Man and Stalin, and see what happened. A contract to not attack each other. See how that goes. Because at the end of the day, the Indians are German.
Points.
No.
That's
oh my
fucking
God.
stupid.
Did you know about the NBA? That's impressive.
It's more like League of Legends or Call of Duty, like Warzone. It is you and your 3 buddies are at the top, and that 4th person on that team has a KD of .006. He's died 80 times. Bro, got 1 kill. He's like, this is my fucking war.
You get all these fucking dudes that simp over. Oh, did you know the USSR actually manufactured more tanks than America during World War II? Oh, did they? Did they really?
You're scaring
really
me.
interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Who did who'd America send to the Soviet Union in, I don't know, like fucking 1929 and started their entire industrial revolution when he founded the Stalingrad tractor factory? Oh, it was Albert Kahn, aka the architect of fucking Detroit. Literally, America started your entire manufacturing capability, and you're gonna sit here and try to flex on me like that's a fucking big W for communism. How much fucking money did America give to the Soviet Union in the early years of World War II? Like what $11 billion? You're like, oh, that's
much
not
is
a
that
lot.
today?
That's not a lot of money. It's like fucking 246 billion-ish dollars. what's Russia's military budget right now?
I don't know.
86 billion?
I don't know.
You gave them 3 times the annual military.
It's crazy, right? Nowadays, they can't even defend themselves in the air. They don't really have any aircrafts. It's kind of crazy, right? That's why like people are like, oh, Russia would body the West, right? There's commie fuckers are like, oh, Russia would body the West, and I'm like, buddy, they can't even defend their airspace because they got nothing. They can't even get past Ukraine. What are you on about? With the help of everyone else, it's interesting. What do you think? What it's crazy.
Fucking budget, and you're gonna come to me and be like, oh, communism's the fucking best. Yeah, when it's funded by fucking capitalism, sure it is. Why the fuck wouldn't it be?
Even Cuba has slowly opened the borders to foreign investors. No wonder. They smell the money. And I can tell you this will also eventually happen to North Korea. Eventually, all of these countries see the light.
Okay, the same reason you hear everybody like, no, did you know that fucking Cuba has the best healthcare system in the fucking world? And the only reason that Cuba isn't a communist fucking paradise is because America put an embargo on them and refused to do business on them. Yeah, maybe, but explain to me in logical fucking reasoning why it is that a communist fucking utopia can't exist because capitalism isn't going to work with them. It can't exist on its own. They need capitalists to fucking work with them for them to fucking survive, okay? At the end of the day, I've never seen a fucking capitalist.
True. It's very interesting. They blame the US for that, and it's like, yeah, but see, if you can't sustain yourself, then I have questions. If you rely that much on others, right? If you're such a communist utopia, right? And you can't rely on your own system, then it's not worth having. Right? It's that simple. It really is. And also notice these people, right? These like communism glazers, they never actually live in those countries. Never. They don't live in those countries. Bosh, he's gonna move to the Netherlands. Not going to move to China. It's not going to move to Cuba. It's not going to move to North Korea. Why is that? Why is that? Good question. Anyway.
Trying to build a fucking raft out of shitty, broken fucking tires to swim across shark-infested water to make their way to Florida to fucking escape, okay?
Oh, Venezuela.
Get over it. Communism fucking sucks. You're never going to convince me otherwise. You're fucking wrong. If you think that the USSR single-handedly beat the Nazis in World War II, you're fucking wrong. Objectively speaking, I can't fucking help you. Okay? Did they help? Absolutely. I'm happy to admit that they contributed to beating the Nazis. If you think they did it on their own, it's because you're breathing through your mouth and you're objectively fucking retarded. Those are the only fucking reasons that you would think that. Okay? Furthermore, the only reason that World War II even fucking happened is because the Nazis and the USSR had an agreement that they were gonna go ahead. They're like, oh, go ahead, invade fucking Poland, and we're gonna have separate spheres of influence, and then we're not gonna fight, and then the Nazis attack the USSR anyways, and then they join the fucking Allies, okay? So the USSR is the reason that World War II even fucking happened. You don't get to claim credit for being the only ones that fucking won, okay? Shut the fuck up. I can't fucking...
Bro, it's Angie. But that's very true. Well, Arguably, technically, the reason that World War II happened is also, for one, it's the Weimar Republic, that entire system being incredibly faulty. For one, it's also the harsh conditions put on the German people by France and the UK. That is also something that nobody wants to mention. But those were also a driving force, right? That contract. Versailles, right? That contract. Also, in parts at fault. As far as I'm aware, the US actually wasn't fond of those harsh conditions, but the French and the British did it anyway.
Handle it. Like, I got 2 sons, and then people are like, "Oh, you do jujitsu? You're a big fucking tough manly man."
You are.
What if your kids grew up? What if one of them was gay? I don't care at all. They can be gay all they want. It's not going to bother me at all. But if my child grows up to simp over the USSR or the German military, I'm going to consider myself a fucking failure as a father because my kid's objectively fucking retarded. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not acceptable to me. I fucking hate it.
Dude, going to college with you must be a fucking nightmare.
No, try being the fucking professor.
Your teacher's like, this is college algebra.
Yeah.
We just asked you to help us with the
So
problem.
this is Art 101.
Bro, it's terrible.
Everyone in your class is like this.
You guys should see the fucking diatribes that Nick writes. And he sends us of arguing with college kids.
Dude, he bullies. That's your Twitter.
Yeah, you do in-person Twitter.
Well, then again, right, we also have to say commies think everything's a Nazi that doesn't agree with them, right? Which is actually really interesting, right? I always say this, but they always go like, "Oh, you're a white supremacist. You're a Nazi," and I'm like, first of all, both no. Second of all, the Nazis weren't white supremacists. They were German supremacists. They believed first and foremost German people were superior to everyone else. That's why they, for example, thought that the French were not. Because according to them, they were too mixed. Same technically applies to the Italians. Same applies to the Polish. Every other Slavic country, right? It's important. That is an important fact, right? That is something important. But communists cannot differentiate that one either. Leftists. Actually, at this point, they might just be synonyms.
Dude, in Twitter and IRL, like, oh my god.
Have you what's the last battle you've been in on your college frontier?
It was that, actually.
Somebody was like, actually, you know, the Soviet Union manufactured more fucking tanks, and it was me just going off. Like, actually, the only reason they could manufacture tanks is because America sent their best fucking engineers to the USSR to teach them how to manufacture tanks. Furthermore, your tanks are shit. Also, America gave you like 4,000 fucking
I mean, the tanks didn't ever reach Finland because the terrain wasn't functional there. So there's that.
Sherman tanks and 400,000 trucks. Did you know that in 1945, over fucking 3/4 of all the vehicles that the USSR military had were fucking manufactured by America? Go fuck yourself. If you're gonna sit here and be like, communism's better because they can manufacture more shit, only because America's funding you, okay? The only reason that you motherfuckers were running proxy wars in Afghanistan in the 80s and 90s were because America taught you how to do it, because we did it to you in World War II. Go
Pretty much. But neo-Nazis are different. They claim themselves white supremacists. Then they're not Nazis. The core ideology of this... Right, the core part of this ideology is Germans are superior. That's all. That is the core ideology of that. Germans are superior to everyone else. That's why, for example, the Swedish were totally fine because, or the Netherlands were fine. Denmark is fine. Finland is fine. Norway's fine, right? Those countries were fine. Austria was fine because they consider them to be Germans, which ethnically in parts they are because they are Germanic. But anyway, if you don't believe the Germans are superior to everyone else or Germanic people, you automatically cannot be a Nazi by that ideology. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. That's why, for example, somebody from Italy cannot be one. Somebody from France cannot be one. Somebody from Poland cannot be one. They're essentially just a moron. That's what they are.
Fuck yourself. Communism sucks. Jesus Christ.
Just some kid like this, just being like, standing over.
Just fuck it.
What was the response?
I get it. Oh,
What was the response?
that wasn't real communism. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Okay.
Every time you call these countries communist, they come with the, oh, it wasn't real communism. Can you show me real communism? You know, it has really, for a lot of these like socialist type of people, right? It has really, that one video by Caleb Hammers really blackpilled me, right? About these people that I genuinely believe they have no idea what they're talking about. This blue-haired lady sat in there and was not able to name any system that which she would rather live in. Any, right? Anything but, she was like, anything but capitalism. And I'm like, you were not able to name a single thing outside of that, right? Yeah, right? Like, usually you would expect these people to go for like, oh, like Sweden. And like, yeah, but Sweden is still capitalist. They're still, right? When people name, oh, socialist countries like Sweden, I'm like, Sweden is still capitalist. They still thrive on capitalism. Yeah, sure, they have a lot more social programs, I suppose, and they are the closest to, I suppose, equality of opportunity, not outcome, by the way. That they couldn't be further from that, actually. In fact, they're much worse than any other countries, especially gender divide. It's very interesting, right? Men went even more into these technical grooves, like technical jobs, and like women more into these like social jobs, right? It's very interesting, but they do love to use that as an argument. But yeah, I feel like these people do not know anything. They don't know anything about this. Back to the point, that's why they never move into actual socialist countries.
Problem you have with capitalism? That's not real capitalism.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Get out of here.
We just haven't done it right
Jesus
yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at you.
We're
You're,
like one more. Fucking bro. Like fucking 1, 2, maybe 3 tops. 3 more genocides, and we're gonna hammer out this whole communism idea. Okay, look. Communism is fucking stupid. Communism is perfect on paper. Okay, it's the greatest way to live that's ever been devised. The problem with having a perfect work of art is you're trying to apply it to an imperfect canvas, and that is humans. Humans are greedy, arrogant, stupid assholes. Everybody is at some point during the day. It's just a matter of how often you are that person. Everybody's a stupid, arrogant, greedy. This is why fucking roundabouts don't work, right? Roundabouts are basically communism, right? They're the communism of road structures, okay? Are they better on paper? Absolutely.
The thing is, communist ideas are embedded into many quote unquote equality movements. They're not really about equality, but regardless, right? You can see that everywhere, right? For example, men and women are equal when there's factually, right? Factually, there's no evidence for that, right? There's no evidence for that. I'm saying women are lesser. I'm just saying that we're not the same, right? We cannot do the same. We're not built the same. Medically, we're different. Even our brains were different. We technically would need even different types of therapy. Right? LGBTQ, that's a classic, right? Because a lot of these people are already in that thing, so there's that, right? But like, there's a lot of, arguably, even BlackRock is arguably pushing it. Anyway.
They're way more efficient. Except for Janet is in her fucking minivan.
Wokeness itself is arguably communism.
trying to hand little Tommy fucking Cheetos while she's trying to take a fucking roundabout at 65 miles an hour, and it doesn't fucking work, okay? Get
It's the
over it.
redistribution of payment.
Humans are dumb, and you have to take it.
It doesn't work because mostly it aims to eradicate greed, but greed is something that's human, so you cannot eradicate something that's deep inside humans. Marxism, that's the same thing. It's just fancy said, but it's the same thing, right? Socialism arguably is not the same thing, but when we look at like Lenin, right, she basically said the end goal of socialism is communism. They're all the same, right? And that doesn't obviously, right? If you look at like Marx, right, and you read a lot of his stuff, my guy wasn't that far off to the mustache man, actually. Sure. And then there's also the whole the issue, right, that technically fascism and socialism, while they are different ideologies, they practically almost use the same systems, right? State media control, technically the removal of private property, arguably oppression of groups. That is pretty much normal in both of these, right? Don't argue with me. They put the Muslims in China into camps. Forget it. What are other similarities? Right? Massive propaganda. They're almost the same functionality wise. That's why they're right. There's no argument to be made. That's why I'm saying they're both equally as evil, and they should both, right? If I see a hammer and a sickle, I'm like, can we ban this? Because I don't see any reason why the one is banned and the other one isn't. Neither of these should exist, and they shouldn't be seen in public. What about imperialism? Also not a good idea. I think most countries should stick to themselves for the most part, right? At least when it comes to making their own politics, unless like something absolutely abhorrent is happening. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's that, to me, it's that simple.
Into account when you're trying to build a civilization. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it works.
God, I love you, Nick.
I fucking hate communism. Have I brought this up?
I don't know.
Roundabouts are communism?
Yes.
I love that.
100%.
That's
I
a
get so
that's
mad
a
at it
shirt.
because people will
That's a
stop,
shirt.
and now I get it because people stop it. Like you have people that go through. They're like, "Oh, no one's coming." I'll go, but some people will yield and they'll just
DEI is also just communism.
stop,
Just sit there.
go, and you are right. It is
It's
the
communism.
individual.
It's perfect on paper, but people fuck it up.
Yeah, it's exactly like returning your shopping cart back to the little fucking stall. You can't rely on everyone to do that.
No, you cannot.
And it gets that great internet video that one dude that throws
No,
that.
there's fucking stickers on people's cars and,
And they
shit.
get soup.
He's still out there, right? Isn't he
Oh
like
yeah,
doing
he's
that?
still doing internet
Fighting a
content.
good fight?
Dude, he gets
It'll be all right,
so
buddy.
angry.
And then you get fucking.
Hey, look at-
and then you get fucking Tucker Carlson going to Russia, being like, "Oh, fucking Russian grocery stores are so great. You have to put 10 rubles into the grocery cart, and then that incentivizes you to return the grocery cart back to where it was." Yeah, fucking America does that too. It's called Aldi.
Yeah.
Okay, we invented it in West Germany in 1940. Fucking.
I mean, Russia pretty much just copies a lot of things, right? That happened to McDonald's. It happened to Coke, right? That happens to a lot of things, actually. There's a lot of off-brand stuff.
Right after World War II. Yeah, we do that too.
I
Okay,
literally
I'm
wrote a
sorry.
paper on that in business school. It's the most successful grocery store
Aldi's
chain
the shit.
in the world.
Aldi's the greatest grocery store.
I did
on
a
the
case
planet.
study on it for like a
You
month.
want to know the number one consumer rated best grocery store in America? It's Aldi. You want to know the number 2 store?
HEB.
It's Trader Joe. Guess who owns Trader Joe?
Aldi.
Okay, because the Aldi brothers were two German soldiers right after World
I
War
want
II.
to open the grocery store.
They started their own grocery store. Okay, do you understand the fucking? Do you understand?
Let them cook.
Do you understand
Let him
how
cook.
hard it would be?
See, the thing is, right, technically, if you look at, like, a lot of these, like, brands and shops and just, like, generally, right, they all technically belong to the same corporate mass, right? They all belong to the same people and stuff. Like, a few ways around, like these off... For example, you have, like, brand toast, and then you have off-brand toast. But when you look at the off-brand toast, it's technically just the brand. It's technically the same toast, but it's manufactured by a different person. But it's technically owned by the same people, regardless. It's just all the same corporate mass. Which is very interesting.
To open a fucking grocery store in West Germany in 1946.
Yeah.
They're playing on fucking hardcore mode. Okay, they founded a grocery store. It worked great.
New
Two
Game
brothers,
Plus.
and then in like the 1980s, they're like, "I want to have cigarettes," and the other brother's like, "I don't want to have cigarettes," and they're like, "Cool, let's separate. You run half the Aldis, I'll run the other half of the Aldis, and then we'll just have two separate businesses, but we'll work together." And that's what they did. And they had Aldi North and Aldi South in Germany, right?
very German.
Then they came to America. You can't have Aldi and Aldi in America due to trademarks. So they're like, fuck it, we'll be Aldi and Trader Joe. And that's fucking what's going on in America right now. They're the greatest grocery
They're
store
divided in the middle.
ever.
They divided right down
Yeah,
the
they
middle.
just divided
They-
it.
It's
Right.
like it's like
Germany-
they,
Humanism is democratic and ethical worldview that centers on human value, agency, and reason. It rejects supernatural beliefs, choosing instead to rely on science, experience, and compassion to shape moral value and finding meaning in life. There's multiple issues with that. Who decides what's moral without a proper moral giver? That means you are essentially relying on subjective morality, which is a slippery slope into being able to justify heinous things. There's also an issue with trusting the science. We have trusted the science during the pandemic. And a lot of stuff came out about this that were straight up lies. For example, lots like the first initial waves of vaccines, they didn't know if these would work. They weren't tested enough. Anyway, we have an issue with human value because for a lot of people, you gain value once you have been born, which is an issue. Even though technically a fertilized egg is already a baby because it is the first developmental stage of a human. So we have an issue there. There's a lot of issues, right? I think we need some form of objective morality. Otherwise, we get a slight issue. And relying on compassion is a problem because if you become too compassionate, you become like the West is now, which is you invite a lot of people that start stabbing others. That start stabbing the native population. It is an issue. It is an issue. The problem is the current best system we have right now, as we can tell, even though it's not perfect, is capitalism. Right? People in the West are usually not starving, and if they do starve, usually sometimes it's their own fault. For example, here in Germany, nobody would be homeless. But people choose to live on the street instead.
It was
they
very
couldn't help
divided.
themselves.
Germany was very. It was like
Was there a wall or something?
There was a wall. Yeah, the Berlin Wall. They had East and West, like
Yeah.
capitalism, communism, hungry fed, that whole shtick. But then they had North and West, which is Aldi North, Aldi South.
Yeah.
The two.
To the communists, when the wall fell, I have a question. When the wall fell, who ran to the other side? Who fled the other side? Who fled the other side and dying while trying to get over the wall? That is all you need to know.
Brothers. One had cigarettes, one didn't. One became Trader Joe's. The other one's just Aldi. It's the greatest grocery store ever. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's the number one thing that you studied like in business school about a company and like understanding scale. Like it's literally like I studied all the economics of it. Everything he says is right.
That jumped fast. Do not continue playing, thank you. I hate that autoplay happens, but I can't turn it off for playlists. It's very interesting. I tried, but it just doesn't stop. Anyway, let me jump towards the end.
A company and like understanding.
That's pretty much there. Perfect. Anyway, yeah, I can tell he doesn't like communism. To be fair, most people probably do not like communism. Because they like living a comfortable life, and communism doesn't do that. It also, one big problem that communism does is, right, which is very interesting for all these people because they're very idealistic, like individualistic, right? It rejects individualism, which means that right? It favors sharing the same belief, right? Over what you think as a person, right? Which very much contradicts these people, but because at the same time they want to be like individualistic. At the same time, they want communism, but those technically reject each other. It's very interesting. Anyway, fantastic. I like him. I like him a lot.